Think of the Indo-Pacific as the world's most crowded, high-stakes highway. Trillions of dollars in physical goods travel through these waters every single year. This map shows global maritime trade routes at risk. The blue and brown lines converging here represent a vast network facing two distinct threats: sudden global supply chain shocks and the risk of a single regional power dominating physical shipping lanes. Maintaining free, open access across this space requires a defensive architecture that no single nation can build entirely on its own. You need two highly capable countries to anchor the region. Securing these shipping lanes is a prerequisite for global economic survival. If trade doesn't flow safely here, factory floors in Europe and grocery store shelves in the Americas go empty. So, which two nations can secure this network? The answer lies in looking at India and Japan, two countries defined by contrasting structural deficits. India brings scale. It has a massive young workforce and a colossal consumer market, but it needs heavy capital and advanced manufacturing tech to fully activate that potential. Japan holds the opposite profile. It possesses elite technological capabilities and deep capital reserves, but faces a shrinking demographic base and a saturated domestic market. This shows their contrasting assets. India has abundant human capital and demand. Japan offers deep financial reserves and tech patents. When integrated, they fill each other's gaps. Japan's capital builds Indian infrastructure, while India's workforce powers Japanese production. They are like two skilled neighbors pooling completely different sets of tools. This complementary asymmetry drives their entire modern strategic alliance. But getting two vastly different economies to function as a single unit requires a frictionless diplomatic operating system to keep things moving. The foundation of that system is built on shared democratic values and a complete absence of historical border disputes. There is very little political baggage holding the two nations back. They maintain this alignment through regular leader summits and strict 2+2 ministerial talks, where both foreign and defense ministers sit at the same table. This tight bilateral trust allows them to scale their influence outward, anchoring larger multilateral frameworks like the Quad to project stability across the wider region. By layering these diplomatic ties, they take abstract agreements on paper and turn them into a resilient machine capable of responding to regional pressures. This chart projects Japan's commitment, a flow of 10 trillion yen into India over the next decade. That is heavy capital moving directly into manufacturing and infrastructure. The investment reaches into defense. The two nations recently reached an agreement in principle on the Unicorn Project, India's first defense co-development with Japan, specifically focused on naval radio antennas. When you pair new defense hardware with joint exercises like Malabar and JMEX, you improve maritime domain awareness. The fleets can track and respond to threats in real time, securing physical supply chains. However, this integration encounters friction. Global supply shops and differing national decision-making speeds can slow down these joint projects. There is also a human element. Leaders and firms often hesitate to overcommit when domestic politics or shifting economic cycles create short-term uncertainty, despite clear long-term gains. Tying economic security pacts directly to naval capacity reduces vulnerabilities along the region's most critical trade routes. The pace of this integration was on display in July, when the two countries wrapped up their 16th annual summit right before India's monsoon session. The summit produced firm joint statements prioritizing cooperation in artificial intelligence and long-term energy resilience. They also locked in new technology pacts driving the modern economy, specifically targeting the joint development of semiconductors and the securing of critical minerals. These technical agreements move the focus from surface-level trade toward shared control over future technological lifelines. The long-term goal of the partnership moves past simple trade volume. Through technology transfers and capital investment, Japan acts as an engine to help build India's long-term technological self-reliance. Deep technological integration acts as a counterbalance to single power dominance in the region. It ensures that trade routes remain open to everyone. By pooling their asymmetrical strengths, India and Japan are actively engineering a region that remains stable and open